Hi, welcome back to Reflections with Clinton and Lindsay. And today our special guest, really special guest. This man means so much to me. We're talking about 30, 35 years of relationship, friendship. None other than veteran radio broadcaster from the tri-state area, the one and only Jeff Sarge. Jeff Sarge, good afternoon.
Once again, Clinton, we are together once more.
Yes, sir.
In this thing called media involving music. But it's so nice to see you
It's nice to see you.
on TV, you know.
Hey, listen, as I said to you before, I didn't even know I wanted to do it until I came here for an interview.
Yeah.
And the next thing, the interviewer, the interview return interview. So
That's what
yeah.
happened to me in Jersey too. When I was on Comcast,
Wait, what?
I went for an interview.
And next thing you know,
I was hosting.
you know, so you know what I'm going through.
Yes.
Um,
Yes, yes.
You're here in South Florida, and I know you have relatives down here. How often do you come down here?
Not as often as I would like to, you know, but this is first I've been here since the pandemic. You know?
Right.
Lots of relatives and friends, and on Sunday mornings on my program, I always say, "Welcome, Reggae Schoolroom South."
And that's
you know, there are so
South
many people
people.
over the years in this side.
I'm one of them.
Yes, one of them that have a full listenership this side of town. You know? Yeah.
And you mentioned Reggae Schoolroom. How long have you been doing that show?
38 years now. I'm
38
into my
years.
third generation.
Oh my goodness. And how did you get started with that?
All right. We have time for the story.
Yes.
Yes. Well, you know, I was touring with Calabash Band. I was the manager for Calabash Band.
Yes.
And we used to, when we were on top, we were on top. You know. And
You got a twin in that band?
Yes, the Miller twins. Danny
Miller.
and Winston Miller.
Yes.
But the band itself, Marcia owned the band, Julie Mott owned the band, Rap owned the band, everybody, Michigan and Smiley, all those artists go to Jamaica. When you go to New York, you know, make sure you work with Calabash.
With Calabash.
Anyway, one of the times after coming in and dropping a suitcase and have to pick up a next set of clothes because we're going to hit the road for another 3 days. And in another 3 days, it was starting. People, before going further, people sometimes think it's such a glamorous thing to be
They do.
or
They
entertainment.
won't know.
They don't understand. So I say, you know what? This thing is starting to get to me. I need another, along with the radio and something else.
Yeah.
So what I did was, I went to New York School of Broadcasting. I remember in those days we had to go to Manhattan in front of SOBs to get our FCC license.
Third class license.
Yes, not like today.
Not like today.
So one morning, Junior Biggs, who by the way I have a new song to send to you from Junior Biggs.
Oh, okay.
He came knocking on the door and said, "Listen, there is music being played on the radio in our community. We run this. We have to go find out what's going on."
Right.
So I went up to a place called Uppsala College in East Orange, New Jersey, and the host was Jonathan Blanc. So we introduced ourselves, and right away we hit off a good vibes, you know. And even with the station manager, I said, "Like when you guys come around, you know, come around more often. That's no problem." So one day Jonathan was going on vacation, and he said, "Jeff, you want to show them because you've been here enough and you look like you know the more and everything." And I say, "Yes." So him said, "But you have to have the FCC license." I say, "Yeah, I have my own."
You're well equipped.
So he called the manager and said, "I have a license, you know." He said, "No problem." So I did those 2 weeks for him. And then when he was leaving the station,
You got a slot.
the manager said to me, "Well, you've been here. Here's a key. Just write a letter to make it formal. I'm applying for the job." Now, I got a call August 9th, 1984. The reason why I'm specific about the date, that's my birthday.
Ah, okay.
I was heading out from Brooklyn because the brethren them said, yeah, come to Brooklyn. I got some fish and some rice and beans. And
celebrate your birthday.
the manager called me and said, listen, I put on a Bob Marley LP. Remember those days there were 5 music on each side? Get here before the LP finished.
Yeah.
But I was living very close to the station.
Right.
So I just threw some music in a suitcase and took off. The song was just about to finish when I got
Well,
there.
you got it.
Fridays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. for 2 years.
What?
Yes.
That's 4 hours of...
Yeah, 84 to 86.
Yeah.
And then when the schedule switched around, that's when the Sunday
The Sunday.
started.
Oh,
So,
okay.
a lot of people don't know about the Fridays.
No, I didn't even.
Yeah, so that's where now I'm into my 38th year now. August 9, gone 38 years. Generations, I used to listen to you. My son and daughter used to listen to you. Now their son and daughter listen. So here now I'm in the third generation at least.
But at one point though, Jeff, you had, on a Sunday morning, you were just the only person on radio you could find that was playing rubber dub and lovers rock and cultural music.
We still didn't for that time slot with covering the tri-state area.
The tri-state area,
now with the internet involvement.
Yes.
We are still have that magnificent audience. Because we have developed an audience over the years and it has expanded. I can get a call from China. I say, what time it is in China? Monday evening. But we are listening live, you know. And you know, so give thanks that as much as the thing with radio, you know, 2 things. You don't know who is listening.
You don't.
And you will always pick up new listeners. And which is a sign of progression.
That is true. Now, with you, I remember back in those days, you had the biggest, you were the only reggae program on a Sunday morning. And one couldn't have a dance and don't pass a flyer out to you. So when you take your 10 minutes to read your flyers, it would just fly after. That was a public supported radio, so you couldn't run commercial, but you could read flyers. How did you learn to read them so effectively? Like for most people, like regular radio, you put in a card and it's recorded.
The thing about it, you know, when I'm putting my show together, I always put a show together. Once I never did that, I regretted that show. I wanted it to done so fast. First of all, people used to say, you just come off of the stage in New York, 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Oh, you sound so fresh at 9 o'clock.
You tell us how you did it.
I mean, having youth on your side. And, you know, you see when you're committed to something.
I love it. Admit it, you love it.
So, with those flyers now, I would make sure I have an idea. I would put them in dates.
Okay.
That was my secret.
The priority in dates, like so this week you put that up front, and the one far back.
Yeah, so I wasn't shuffling.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Yeah, so I just, boom, read off that, boom, and when that one finished, put that aside.
Okay. Because I remember a couple of times I passed through. And you would give me a flyer to read, and by the time you do it, another one. And, hey, yo, brethren. I mean, you know, it takes a certain art and craft to be able to read flyers where people listening can get the message out of it.
Exactly.
And, you know, being at a college radio station, that's the perfect place. Now, at one point, you were one of the most requested MCs.
Yes.
In New York.
Yeah, for a good 30 years, I would say.
But how did you get to that point? Because let me tell listeners and viewers, you were like the permanent host for the Tamika Reggae Awards when we started in 1989, and every year. But outside of that, you were just every show. If you don't have Jeff Sarge, you have a certain rapport with the audience, with the artists. How did that develop?
Well, going back to my youthful days, we had a youth club out of Harborview.
Okay.
Right? Them label me as the troublemaker.
And you were.
Yeah.
Another matter of label.
So, anytime we had like entertainment night now, the music player say, yo, come talk.
Ah.
I know, but I had no fear in life of anything. A challenge to me was like, yeah.
Okay.
You can't do that.
Right,
Watch this.
watch
And
it.
my friends them, when they want to miss you, them say, I bet you can't do that. Are the worst
Are the worst thing to tell us.
So,
Yes, yes.
when they always call me up now, me used to imitate when I sit on TV and everything. So I fling the mic on, my friend them and make noise and
Right.
And that evolved to college now. We had an organization called Carib, so between Rutgers and NJIT in New Jersey. So when we had our events, I was
You are the master of ceremony.
and it's something I like because, like I said, fear was never.
It's something you like, but it's also something that people saw that.
Yeah.
I saw it. I said, I can't even remember the amount of shows UMC for me because you have a certain relationship with the audience.
Yeah,
Even when things go bad and you have to go up there and tell people.
You know, I remember once speaking about that. Bojo Banton first show in New York. You know, when we said the 90s crew.
Yeah, you have to
it
know.
was a 90s show. And something happened. I won't call the artist's name. It's a young artist. I told him, say, listen, this is past your time, you know. But he was from around the 90s. So he said, boy, am I boy them sure?
Okay.
So me
So
go
you
on
know,
and-
things different now.
You see when him go up on stage and buckle start fling. And you know, two things start
that
get off. Two guns.
No, you have to go on
Yeah,
stage
man.
now and calm
So-
that down.
Me just stand up behind the speaker and say, listen to me now. I know everyone out there. And if you never fling a buckle after me, you say, I come in your yard, man. And the place just mash up. You understand? But it's just, I developed that rapport with people.
Yes,
see?
yes.
Because them used to say me a comedian, and but it's just a way of getting to people and trying to put them in a space where you would be, you know?
Right.
And so we developed that thing, and we just back and forth. So like I said, having no fears, like, sure, go deal with them, man. You know?
But you know, I can do I can MC, as you know. I have this bout of stage fright.
Even when it was an audio, it was let me go and manage.
I don't like that part of it. I see people like you. I'm not with business. People like you, Carl Anthony is another good MC. Barry G is another good MC. You just know how to keep it together.
Yeah, sometimes you just have to have in mind that just in case something go wrong, you have to be snappy to correct it and keep going.
Right.
Maybe it's just an ability I got.
It's an art. It's an art.
Yeah.
You eventually, you develop a good relationship with artists, and you eventually got into production.
Yeah,
Who dragged you into that?
Well, my production company started in 1977.
Wow,
I
really?
graduated from Rutgers in 76. And my friends always say, oh, you go to college and you never work a day for your degree yet. I said, music call me. Remember 76, Jamaica did hot. So my mother said, where you got? I said, Mommy, and music I got to deal with it, and the politics I got to deal with it. You understand? So my first recording was with Sly and Robbie also. It's something I always wanted to do.
Sly and Robbie?
No, I formed a company
with
my label Shaka USH, and so I went to Jamaica, and my first recording was with my brethren, Fredlocks, because we grew up together as brethren.
Yes.
We used to hide the Bible Sunday night time and go Gold Coast, go listen to King Stitch and play some wax. You understand? And I want to give you a joke. There's a music that we did that 77 release called Sufferation by a lady named Beverly Williams. And Clinton, today, that music is still being pirated in Europe. And I can't figure out what it is about that music. But we don't do a pile of music, but what I've tried to do is quality music.
Right.
Which is a lesson I learned from the great Mr. Clement Coxon. You said, you call everybody Jackson.
Jackson,
you
yes.
said, Jackson, when you're doing anything, make sure it do good. And, you know,
if anybody knows that, it's him.
And I thank God I was able to, because of a relationship with my uncle, I was able to, anytime he see me come, he say, come man, and tell a man, go buy 2 stout now. Yeah, so that means I sit down with him.
Right.
Him teach me a lot without him teaching me, but he taught me that I just observe, and sometimes I say, Jackson, you know? So that's when I got into radio production.
Recording.
Yeah.
Now I remember you did a piece, an album with Sugar Minor and it, Dr. Love. Dr. Honey.
Yeah.
Marcia Griffiths.
Leroy Sibbles.
It was very creative because you have the tracks with you introducing, and then you have the same track with just without the introduction.
Yeah.
Where did you get that idea from? Because I've never seen it before and I haven't seen it again.
Actually, the album was being released in Japan, and it was the company that made that request. They say, people know your voice, you have a very unique voice. People know you when they hear you. Because unfortunately, Clinton, I go places and as I open my mouth, I get identified. So they say, your voice will sound so much good, and that's where that came from. So I just developed those intros myself and put it up.
Yeah, because you will have intro, with intro and without intro. That was a good idea, and I haven't seen it anywhere else.
Yeah.
Earlier on you mentioned Buju Banton, and let's get to Driver now. In the video for Driver, guess who was the driver? This one. How did you get that role, Jeff?
Before we get to Driver, when Buju first released as a 19-year-old, he even said it in an interview that I was the one who was instrumental in pushing him in New York. Because as a 19-year-old, I heard something. I said, there's something with this young man. See? Remember now, you know, that song came out, when he was 19-year-old. And the history is that, of course, it was identified later. But now, going back to the video now. You know, once again, it's a public station. So I was collecting prizes to offer to the listeners who...
When you do your drive?
The fundraising
drive, right.
So I said to his manager, I need some product. They say, yeah man, the way you do the Buju thing, man. She said, come see me. So when I went and collected the products, she said to me, we, Gargamel Productions, is doing the video for Driver. It was our promotion, you know, so we're going to put it together. So she said, you know what? I have a picture of you, and I'm going to give it to the producer.
To the producer of the video.
2 days later, the phone ring, Driver! I said, what do you mean, Tracy? She said, from the man see your picture, he never wants to see nobody. He said, see the driver, yeah.
So, but I remember the video itself that you shot a piece of it like under the Brooklyn Bridge?
Yeah, we shot it on the Dumbo.
Oh.
The Dumbo Bridge. That morning, 5 o'clock, it kind of
chilly.
See? So 2 sets of police came. The first set came and said, you guys have a permit? They said, no, we just taking a quick minute, and they said, hurry up, okay? That was 2 males.
Right.
Then 2 ladies came. And when they saw Buju Banton, it's like them just say, we're going to park here until you
finish. Protection.
Yeah. So that's where it started, and we drive all through Brooklyn. But Jamaican people are something else.
What?
Everywhere we went, we don't make the driver video, don't we?
They knew.
They pick up right away.
Where did you get that car though? That car was...
It was rented.
It was rented?
Yeah, they found a car company out in Queens, and the producer, they rented that car.
And you look, in the video, you look like everybody's uncle. You have that uncle image. You need to pursue doing more videos.
I never did, because Clinton, I wasn't looking for that. And after that video was made, you know how much man come to me and say, yo boss.
Me know that must happen.
You know how much time I come and say, Bantan, when you make the video, you know, remember me, you know. You understand?
But you have that, you have that briefcase.
Yeah, man.
And you have that uncle look, like real serious uncle that.
Yeah, man. And when Tracy told Bush that, yeah, you don't say Jeff Sarge will be the driver. You say, yeah, man, what you mean?
That's not.
Man. So that's what it's about, not looking for something, and then say it drop right there.
Right. And a lot of people don't know that your contribution to the industry, because you have some personality that's just have their face out there consistently. And you're not that aggressive sort of guy.
I cannot promote myself.
Yes.
And people say that's my biggest problem. But I don't have that kind of ego. I'm the type of person, I will do the work, and the work, people might see it and say, yo, like that, you know. I say, all right, I'm going to keep moving.
Right.
I mean, I go walk up there and say, boy, I mean him, so. That's not me. I can't do that. But I just keep working. That when people find out certain things, say, Jeff, we not tell you all them things, man. Say, okay,
well, it's now on tape for generation to see.
Indeed.
Even when you and I are no longer here,
it's on tape, you know.
A lot of time when people interview me, one of the first questions they ask me is, how do I see today's radio? How do I feel about today's radio? And I guess I'll ask you the same question.
Okay. Well, being a veteran of the radio, and remember I also did serious radio for a moment.
Yes, yes.
And I did a couple of the radio stations. Of course, 93.5 in New York with Bobby Cherry One. That's 20-something years I've kind of taken a break because of some issues.
Health issue,
okay. But when, for instance, when you pioneered night radio, because Clinton and Lindsay pioneered night radio in New York and made it successful.
Okay.
At the time, we had to be creative.
Right.
But the creativity we came with was because there was a need for it, and somebody had to set the foundation.
Right.
And we got the opportunity, and like them say, we never lay upon the opportunity. We took it and we built it. Now, nothing remains the same. There's always going to be change.
Yes, yeah.
Along the way, I had always hoped that making change, which we understand, but there would be a certain positivity to that change.
Right.
But one of the things with radio today, Clinton, is that many of the people on radio today did not get the training that we got.
And that's in a nutshell, that's what the problem is.
So many of them are dance-all DJs,
yes.
and you cannot bring that to the radio. Because you hear it. So even though they are going with their generations, of course, many of them don't last too long.
Yeah.
Look
at you and I, we're still
here.
Because of the training we got.
Exactly. So that is a very important thing to be understood. In anything else, you can't build a house unless you learn how to build a house.
You have to have the blueprint, the foundation. What about the music?
The music now is a story by itself. The thing about it, the world loves roots rock, reggae music.
Yes.
I play music now and people say, where you get them new music they from? I say, I'm going to tell you, they are still being made.
Yeah, they are made, but it's just that.
But the younger generation, unfortunately,
yes,
they play in a limited box.
Yeah.
And that box consists of some two-week music, as I call them. You understand? And they go and party to it, not understanding that music lasts a lifetime.
When it's done good, as Mr. Dad says.
Exactly.
You know? Jeff Sarge.
Yes, sir.
I didn't even realize time was moving so fast. We have so much in between you and I. We're looking at about 100 years
easily,
of experience.
So much we have done over the years.
You
know, but I've just give thanks, Clinton, that I've given them the opportunity to do what I've been doing and didn't waste it.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
And getting the feedback from so many people, you know, so well. There are people out there who would say thanks for what I've done.
Right. And we just need to be honored now by the various organizations between Jamaica and here. And a token of appreciation, and I won't say no to that.
No, if they come forward, like recently in September, the organization in New York, forget what the name, they send a car for me, a jersey.
There you go. You earn it, brethren. You earn it because you have set the pace and you know you have that influence. Listen, how long are you gonna be in South Florida?
Well, I'm here until tomorrow.
Are you saying you came down to the studio just for me?
I won't say that, but it's true.
But you won't say it, but it's true. Hey, listen, Jeff Sarge, legend.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Years and years, brother.
Without a doubt.
Years and years. I have so pictures of you on the stage with the Tamika. Yeah. You were the man, the host of the Tamika for many years.
I have a problem because I said, look how the pictures of it, man, give me two and all no.
I know. You're talking Short George, aren't you?
Short George.
Call him Jeff Sarge, thank you very much. So there you have it, folks. My special guest. Many years of relationship between you and I in New York City, and now we are here in South Florida.
And Lindsay, a promoter, bring up the biggest set of artists from Jamaica, like Super Cat and Mr. Early be the doctor. Only for artists, no for them we can't remember. Who can remember when them used to keep Jamaica? The kind of show that used to give out no for water to reggae artists.